Hello, my name is Adedoyin Jaiyesimi, and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I share information, knowledge, and insights for communications and public relations professionals. Essentially, I'm your go-to comms advisor. If you watched my previous video where I talked about PR and comms associations and certifications that you can take or how to make the decision of which one to join, which certification to take, you remember that I spoke about doing a skill audit because that's the first thing that really helps you to understand, what direction you really should be going in. So this video, we're going to go into how to do a skill audit so that you can make those decisions, right? And develop the competencies that you need as a communications and PR professional. So what is a skill audit? It's a process that can be used to identify skill gaps with regards to your career. So you do a skill audit and you realize, oh, I'm not so great at media relations. I'm not so great at stakeholder management. I'm not so great at public speaking. So I cannot be an effective spokesperson for my organization. Through a skill audit, you're able to assess the abilities that you have, that you currently possess in light of where you want to go and where you should be. So thinking back to when I did my own personal audit in 2018, and an audit is something that I do every year, to be honest. But when I did it in 2018, I was running an agency at the time, and I was thinking, because I was like, this agency life, man. I was thinking of, coming back to 9 to 5, and I knew that I wanted to be at the very top, and which was for me, be the chief communications officer or communications director of an organization. But while I did the audit, I realized that not only did I not have a professional qualification or degree in communications, I studied law. I wasn't part of an association, but there were certain skills that I didn't have. So, and it would require, for example, a chief comms officer, you would necessarily or sometimes be the spokesperson for your organization. And I hadn't functioned as that before. So I noted that what is required. I remember doing a particular Google search and I said, what is required of a spokesperson? And I did the research and I read, okay, it's public speaking, it's this, it's that, and that. So you also, you realize that there are things that this person does that I don't have. I remember back in 2018, I didn't have much experience with crisis communications, and I saw that it was a key requirement. If you're going to work in any big organization as the CCO, as the comms director, you need to be able to know how to manage crisis. And think about that was 2018. Look at COVID that happened in 2020. So I noted those things. So that's how powerful a skill audit can be. And then you're able to close those gaps. Now, all of those things that I noted in the audit, I've gained it. I've gained the expertise or experience in crisis communications, in being a spokesperson, all of those things I've been able to learn and close those gaps. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. So let's talk about how to begin. You need to start with what your career interests are. Now, as I progressed in my career, I realized that I wanted to work with organizations that had some sort of social impact attached to it. I didn't want to work for an organization that, they're just you're having a purpose or mission that doesn't resonate with me. So in the open letter I wrote to young professionals, for example, I was talking about when I handled a makeup brand in Nigeria, and it was exciting. We're doing these campaigns, the makeup was selling, but I was just like, is this all there is to my skill and my gifts? But for some people, that's great. I have friends that, the lifestyle PR is what they do, and they are absolutely fantastic, at what they do, derive joy from it, but that wasn't me. So what are your interests? What do you like? What are you good at? And you have to be very honest with yourself. Are you really good at this thing, or you're just, winging it? Now, the flip side is, don't let imposter syndrome prevent you from really articulating what you're good at. So I'm good at writing. I'm good at creating strategy. I'm good at execution and all of that. I wasn't so great at media relations because at the time I had to learn interpersonal skills, because I was very introverted. I'm still very introverted, but I've learned how to balance it. And being an introvert as a communications and PR professional, it can be quite interesting, but you have to find a way to navigate these things. And then what comms skills and competencies do you currently have, right? So I have a guide, a career guide, which I will share at the end of this presentation, and it will help you to see the comms skills and competencies that you need to have in a comms or PR role. Now, I just need to quickly say something about what you're good at. Number two, it doesn't have to be only about comms, right? Just generally, what are you good at? So I've always been good at writing, even before I stumbled and found my way in comms. So that's why writing would always feature there. For some of you, it's your ability to analyze things. Some of you are very analytical. Some of you are able to. So something that I'm able to do is, whether within comms or outside of comms, is that something is complex, I'm able to break it down into simple ways. So that's what that is for. Don't niche it to just comms and PR. What are you just good at generally? I'm good with things that have to do with my hands. I'm good with speaking. I'm good with articulating my thought, whatever it is, right? So let's jump to number 4. What are the skills and competencies you need to learn and you need to improve on? So like I said to you, for me, when I did this audit, I realized that I needed to learn how to be a spokesperson. I needed to learn crisis communications, because at the time I had not handled a brief that had crisis communications, and if I did, it was not handled by myself, right? So I just didn't even have that experience. And then, what is your dream role? Again, the example I gave you, my dream role was Chief Communications Officer, Communications Director. So you really just need to assess where you currently are, very honestly, very openly. This is where I am. Now, the next thing, or the next stage, requires 4 steps, right? Step 1 is you use your current career level or role. So let's say your current career role is communications officer. So you will go on LinkedIn and you will type in the search box communications officer in jobs. So go to jobs first, type communications officer. You can niche it down to your country, and also niche it down to your maybe also the continent. I just like to check, again, if you watched the video that I put up last week, I think global. So I always check the national, I check the regional, but I check global, because you want to be globally competitive, right? But go on the jobs section, type in your current role, communications officer, look at the job ads. What are the requirements? So you will see the role will say 5 years experience in this, need that, just note the things that you see, write them down, everything that you see. The more you do it, or the more job ads you look at, you'll find that it's a bit repetitive. If there's something new that you see that hasn't been, that you haven't noted down, you write it. You do the same thing for the profiles of people in your current role. I know LinkedIn now kind of like blocks you not blocks you, but it stops you from looking at, because I do this a lot. So I think there was a day that it didn't allow me to look at more profiles. So maybe you just choose, so you don't get to that, at that top point. I don't know what the number is. If not, I'll have told you. But check the profiles of people in your current role, communications officer. What have they written in their profiles? Now, the thing with this is that some people's profiles are very robust. Those are people that have really worked on their LinkedIn. But some people, their profile is very, very scanty. So it can be a hit or miss. You never know until you click it, right? But just click and just see. Again, if there's anything different from what you've written down from the job ads, just note it and write it down. Now, so note the qualifications, skill set, and competencies. So you notice that, it seems like, 3 people, they're part of Toastmasters. Just note it, because what Toastmasters helps you to do is helps you to build your public speaking skills, which can be good for you if you want to become like a spokesperson and all of that. Now, step 2 is that you will compare and contrast the findings from step 1 with the skills that you currently have. So you've written a list from step 1, you've checked the job ads, you've written the competencies, the skills, the qualifications, you've checked the profiles, where you are now, which is why if I go back, we did this, right? Compare the list. So for me at the time, I didn't have a master's degree. So people had master's degrees, CIPR diploma. I didn't have it. So I noted that these are the things that I don't have. I don't have these qualifications. I haven't joined this. I haven't done that. I haven't done that. That's step 2. Keep that list somewhere. So you may need to have like 3 different pages. I did this over, I think I used 4 or 5 pages because my own list was very long. I mean, from step 1, rather, not the list of the things I didn't have, but my list from step 1 was really long. So you do that. Then you go to step 3. Now, you're going to essentially repeat step 1, but you're going to do it with your dream role. So for me, that was Chief Communications Officer. So I started to search job ads for chief communications officer or communications director. I began to see in those job ads what it was that they required. So some would say 12 years experience, 15 years experience, have this, have that, have knowledge of this, be able to manage teams. In fact, there's some roles now that they require you to have like experience working with multiple teams, experience across the continent, depending on the kind of role, if it's a regional role, for example. So do that. So if your goal is, I want to become the head of communications of an organization in the next 2 years, I want to become what are the things, the comms manager, just do the same as step one. Search for the job ads, note down the qualifications, note down the skills, note down the competencies, check the profiles of a few people that currently hold that title. You can niche it down. So for example, if you're working in oil and gas and you say, okay, I want to stay in the oil and gas space, you can niche it to the oil and gas space and all, because you'll find that the oil and gas, there's certain kinds of certification that are peculiar to the oil and gas sector that you may need to have. But if you say, you know what, I just want to look broadly, I don't want to niche into a particular sector, then you can check the profiles of people that work across board as well. Step 4, you now have 3 lists. You have the list from step 1, where you currently are. Step 2 is showing you, okay, you're missing out on XYZ. Step 3 is saying, these are the things you need to get you the next step or the place where you want to go. And so step 4 is now where you now outline where the gaps are. What are the skills that you need? What are the competencies that you need to develop? What are the qualifications that you need to have? So for me, when I did mine, it became apparent that, the master's degree was very, very important. And then being part of a professional association, I could get away with not having a CIPR diploma, for example. I could get away with not having a professional certification if I have a master's degree in this, especially from a reputable university. But there are some job ads, and I read job ads like almost every day, that ask you to have, they would say master's degree, then professional certification. It's either it is desired or it is compulsory. So again, when you do the audit and you write it down, you're able to know which one is which for you. And then the last thing that you will do is to create a plan to close the gap. So my plan was, okay, get your master's degree, then join a professional association. For some of you, it might require doing other things, and that is what this slide is all about. How do you close this skill gap? What are the steps that you can take? Now, I've broken down into short-term, mid-term, long-term, because some things it's going to take you a longer time. So somebody is saying, look, I want to move from agency to in-house, or I want to move to a certain role and they require me to have agency experience, but I don't have agency experience. That may take you some time to build up to get to that particular role. And this happened, in fact, this has happened to more than one person, that for the goals that they have, they needed agency experience. They pitched themselves, got an internship, did the agency work for about a year and a half, a year, and then they are now occupying the position that they currently want. And this was between 2020, this is 2023, 3 years. So this thing I'm saying, it is very possible. I've done it. I've coached others to do it. I've advised others to do it. It is possible. It's just having a plan and just being clear. Again, that's why the skill audit is very, very important, knowing what exactly it is that you need to do. So short term is free courses, because you might either find you have a knowledge gap. So it's a knowledge gap, it's a skill gap. Those you can easily close. Now, if your knowledge gap, you need a professional certification to solve that knowledge gap, and you don't have the money for a professional certification, what are you going to do, right? So you take advantage of free courses. There are free courses on Udemy. There are free courses on Coursera. So IE Business School, for example, has free courses on Coursera. The guide that I'm going to share has a list of different courses. Please check out my courses. I have courses on Seller as well, which are accessible on my website. You will see the link as well in the next slide, and I will put it in the description of this video. Take advantage of webinars. I'm very selective about the webinars that I go for, but I go with the intention of learning. Some of us we don't like to sign up for webinars and then we don't show up. What's the point? Learn. So AI, for example, I'm going for webinars that give me information about AI. I recently watched one that was done by I think it was the ICCO. It's on the ICCO's website. I really loved the conversation. It was very eye-opening. They, differentiated between predictive AI, why this is important on this level and all of that. That was good. So take advantage of webinars. YouTube, see, just sit on YouTube. You will be so surprised what you will find, information that you will find that will help you close your skill gap. Volunteering opportunities. So, someone asked me a question recently that I would like to learn certain things in the comm space, but I'm not getting jobs and all. Volunteer. If you've read my book, I've volunteered my way into many things because this is the way I see it. I want to achieve X, and this person is not giving me the opportunity. I will find a way to achieve X. So if I cannot get a full-time job, I will find a volunteering opportunity. And I understand the constraints. Yes, you need the money and all, but like I wrote in my open letter, money cannot be the reason why I don't do something. Money cannot be the thing that will stop me from achieving my goals. So volunteering opportunities are there. I will just go. If I want to break into an organization, I can go there and say, don't worry, let me just 1 month is all I need. And because I know myself, 1 month is all I need to show you that I can do. And I've done it in an organization before. So think about volunteering. It doesn't have to be a big prominent organization. It can be conferences. There are so many conferences that happen. In fact, if you join your the association in your country, you can actually volunteer to help them do something, volunteer towards the national conferences, the workshops, the webinars. Those are opportunities for you to network, opportunities for you to connect with people that can help you get a job. Job search now is not just about, oh, I see a job notice and I'm applying. It's literally about people recommending others in their network. I can talk about this all day, so let me move on. Next one is internships. Internships, sometimes they are a bit hard to get, but again, it's just being clear. Sometimes you may need to take the step forward and really pitch yourself and show the value that you're going to add. I know that yet you're coming to this organization to learn, but what are you coming to add? Because sometimes organizations don't want to take on interns because I'm going to have to hold this person. I'm going to have to teach this person. I had an agency owner and I was like, I don't want interns. I don't want someone that I have to teach. I want someone that already knows the stuff. And I know the feeling, right? So you have to also be clear on, look, I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to add value in this way. I'm going to show that hunger, and please don't be discouraged by the no's. Take advantage of conferences and events, because one of the things they do for you is that they give you access. There's a network. So I talk about the African Public Relations Association that I went for a few months ago, and it was really great. I got to meet professionals from Gambia, from places that I've never been to, and it was really good. And then you continue the conversation with them afterwards. Again, from conversations, opportunities open up that can help you get closer to where you need to be. Midterm, you want to think about a short professional certification. Those are certifications that may take you 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months, thereabouts, less than 9 months. You want to join PR comms associations. You want to, take advantage of on-the-job training. I remember that I was talking to someone, and I said to her, have you asked your organization if they can sign you up for this training? Because that's an opportunity that some people don't know that they have. So take advantage of any on-the-job training that your organization may have. They may not have offered you because you haven't asked. So try and ask. If you ask and they say no, then you know that, okay, this organization. But an organization that is not serious about training, except they don't have the money, well, maybe because of the times that we're in. But if I were you, if they said to me, oh, it's because of the money, I would tell them, okay, bring half, let me put half. I can be that persistent about what I want. And then the last part of it is mentors. Get mentors. Mentors really, really help you to close that skill gap, just directing you on what to do, where to get that knowledge from. Now, I haven't had several conversations with young professionals. I know that it can be tough to get a mentor. And we've run our comms mentoring program at the Comms Avenue for 3 years now. And shout out to all of our mentors. All of our mentors have been absolutely phenomenal. But I know how sometimes it's a stretch for them, because there are seasons where I can remember, for example, this last batch, we had a mentor his organization was going through a crisis and he had to show up for a workshop. I could just whoa. So I know how it can be very challenging, but we're hoping that we can get more senior professionals mentoring. And we're hoping that, I don't know if there's a way that the practice of comms and PR becomes less stressful, so that more senior professionals have time to mentor. But please find mentors. And can I just advise, because again, I get a lot of messages that they're doing, be my mentor. I can't do one-on-one mentorship because I feel like I'm mentoring thousands of people in the Comms Avenue community. We're over 1,000, and I liaise with people individually and all of that. But instead of saying, be my mentor, a better approach is ask the person a particular question. That would help. So if you think through, this is what I need. Oh, Adedoyin, I'm at a point where I'm trying to figure out, should I take this training or this training? Then I can say to you, okay, what do you want to achieve? What is the goal? And I listen to you. I think this may be better. These are the considerations you need to put in mind. Or someone says to me, Adedoyin, I have this job offer. I'm not really sure because this. And I'm like, okay, let me see it. Ask a few questions and I can give you advice. But if you say, oh, come and mentor me, I'm just like, I don't know how to help you. So think about asking specific questions and, be very, very thoughtful. Don't be one of those people that do write hello. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this hello? Hello, hi. Good morning, good afternoon, hello, hi. And you say what you want from the person, you find that you get a better response. And then if you don't get a response, don't be annoyed, don't be offended. These professionals are busy, but I really do believe it's possible to get mentors. And then, so for the long term, you want to get a university or advanced degree, maybe an executive master in communications, or the kind of degree that I got, professional diploma, that's a CIPR diploma, which is very, very rich, or you want to do a fellowship. Now, this fellowship is not a comms fellowship, but it can be a fellowship that will help you to learn leadership skills, that will help you to learn skills that make you more competitive as a communications professional. Because sometimes the problem is that communications people are too boxed into communications. They don't have business knowledge or business acumen. And that's why I say, for me, taking the master's degree at IE was one of the best choices for me, because it was not just about communications and marketing. It was thinking about the business as a whole, thinking about an organization as a whole, thinking about social impact, thinking about ESG. So it was very well-rounded and robust. We even did accounting. In fact, I remember praying to God that, God, please, this will not be the reason why I don't pass this degree. But thankfully, I got a good grade. I got a good grade in accounting. But I just wanted to show you how robust it was. When you take a CIPR, the professional diploma, you know that it's in comms, is in PR, which is also good. But I feel like that university degree also gave me room to take modules outside of comms and PR. It was embedded in the course, so that was fantastic for me. But again, really, it depends on what you want to achieve and where it is that you want to go. And I hope that you do the skill audits. I advise you do it every year. Go keep track. I'm always checking LinkedIn job ads, like I said before. I'm always saying, oh, what this person is doing, this person is learning this is this resource. I don't have to do it all, but just being aware is powerful. There's nothing worse than ignorance. I think ignorance is so terrible, right? So I hope that you would use this. And here's the early years in comms guide. It really outlines, it says early years in comms, but it has resources that professionals and early level can use, to be very honest. So you can find the download link at bit.ly/comms career guide, and then you can access other courses that I have, www.adedoyinjaiyesimi.com/my courses. Like I said, I will put these links in the description of this YouTube video. So thank you very much. I hope that this has been useful for you. As always, do stay connected. Please make sure you visit me on my website, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I keep getting feedback that you don't tell people to subscribe. I'm like, if they find value, they'll subscribe. So I hope you do find enough value from this channel to subscribe. Feel free to send me an email at adedoyin@thecomsavenue.com. And then, as always, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. So thank you very much for watching, and looking forward to connecting with you on the next video. Bye.